Hi everyone, welcome back to another video on way to programming. And in today's video, I'm going to help you understand how you can use AI and specifically ChatGPT to learn algorithms without, them sounding boring. And if you've ever opened a data structures book, specifically like, you maybe wanted to learn an algorithm, you just read 2 pages and immediately felt sleepy, this video will help you because today I'm going to show you how you can learn any algorithm, be it DFS, BFS, sorting without reading long chapters, without memorizing formulas and all. So let's get started. And I have again divided this uh, video into different parts. The first part is about learning algorithms through real life analogies. So instead of reading, simple definitions, if let's say you want to understand breadth first search algorithm, I'm sure you're familiar with it, BFS. Instead of reading its definition, like, BFS uh, explores neighbors before going deeper, this and that, you can just use ChatGPT. You can simply ask AI explain BFS like I'm 10 years old. And this is how I learn algorithms. I'm telling you exactly what I do to learn algorithms using ChatGPT and many AI tools. So I just want ChatGPT to help me understand breadth first search instead of using, technical terms. I just want to understand, right? And I'll just give this simple prompt explain BFS like I'm 10 years old. Press enter and look what happens. AI turns it into a story. Imagine this first. You are in a maze or a city with many roads and you want to find your friend as fast as possible. You decide on a smart rule. First, check all the places that are closest to me. Only after that, go a little farther. That smart searching method is called BFS. Breadth first search. Big words, but the idea is simple. Look at everything nearby first before going farther away. I mean, you know, when you read this, suddenly, BFS feels simple. You understand it before writing any code, right? And you can actually try many other things. So, for example, you can also try, let's say, I want to understand merge sort using food or kitchen examples. Okay, let's see how what it says. Fun choice. Let's explain merge sort using kitchen food story. Imagine the situation. Your mom gives you a messy plate of food items in random order by size. So it could be 8 centimeter pizza, 3 centimeter cookie, and all that. Your job, arrange all food from smallest to biggest. Doing this one by one is slow, so you use a smart kitchen strategy called merge sort. What is merge sort? Break food into smaller plates, sort them, then neatly join them back. So it follows three simple ideas split, sort, and merge. I mean, seriously, look at it, right? I mean, it explains it very well. And another, actually, let's try with recursion also. Explain recursion without math. Because usually we use recursion, there are a lot of numbers involved and everything. So let's see what it says. Recursion is when something solves a problem by asking a smaller version of itself for help. Or even simpler, it's when you say, I'll do this the same way, but with a smaller job. Story 1 The Staircase Kid. You are standing on a tall staircase and want to reach the ground. What do? You say, to reach the ground, I should go down one step and then do the same thing again. You keep doing one step, same rule, one step, same rule, until you reach the ground, you stop. That repeating rule is called recursion. Reaching the ground is the stop condition. Wow. I mean, this is amazing. And if you're not able to understand it, again, you can ask ChatGPT to give you a different kind of story, right? Can you help me understand recursion like I am 10 years old? Imagine this toy story. You have a big toy box. Inside it is another smaller toy box. Inside that is another even smaller toy box, and inside the smallest one, and so on. And then there is one little box which has your favorite candy. Now, how do you get the candy? You do this: open the big box, inside, open the next box, inside that, open the next box. Finally, you find the candy. You kept doing the same action again and again, which is open the box. If you remember, the recursive function, we have one specific condition, and we also have one repetitive one function that repeats itself, right? So this repeating idea is called recursion, and in mathematics or in programming, it's called recursive function. Recursion is when something solves a problem by doing the same thing again on a smaller version of the problem. This is amazing. I mean, seriously. So this is how you can ask ChatGPT to explain, simpler problems. Now, what else can you do? You can also ask AI to draw the algorithm for you. Let me go to new chat. And the best part, you don't even need to draw diagrams manually. You can, if you already have a diagram, you can just upload it. You can ask the ChatGPT, draw a simple diagram for BFS traversal on this graph. Or you can also ask, because I don't have any particular diagram right now, so maybe I'll just go with a simple example. Show how quicksort partitions step by step, possibly using a diagram, flowcharts, arrows, visuals, etc. I want to understand the logic easily. Let's see. Now it is thinking. Okay, so this is a quick overview in one line. Quick sort picks a pivot, reorders the array, so all smaller items are left of the pivot, and larger items are right. Okay, now it's giving an example, right? And then step by step with arrows showing swaps. See, it is showing step by step process, and it is also giving you the code. Isn't it amazing? And then you also have compact pseudocode for the same. And then we also have visual flowchart. See, this is amazing, right? AI will give you, ChatGPT will give you flowchart, arrows, and all the visuals that make the logic click instantly. And there is another tool actually. It's called Draw. If you want, you can also use this tool. I use it a lot. You can paste, the steps into this Draw to make it look, clean. So if you can just click here, Excalibur, maybe I'll create another uh, video on this, but you can explore this tool also. Okay. And another thing that you can use ChatGPT for is to generate practice problems instantly. Once you have understood the algorithm, you can just tell AI, for example, give me five um, beginner level, maybe BFS practice problems. So this you can actually use for a dry run, right? If you want to test your knowledge. This is, I think, one of the best practices for dry run, right? So it is also giving you difficulty level, concept, problem, and example also, right? And once it gives you, the problem, you can give it, many other instructions. So for example, you can say, uh, show hints, but not the answer. So it's going to give you some hints. And once you finish the problem, once you solve the problem, you can also ask ChatGPT to check if your solution is correct. You can ask ChatGPT to tell if there is any mistake in your logic, right? And this replaces, hours of trial and error. You have to find, debug on your own. It just saves time. And not only that, AI can also walk you through code line by line. You can just paste your code and say, explain this code step by step. And AI will actually show you what each line does, how the variables change, what the final output should be, and where your logic fails. This is like having your own personal tutor sitting beside you. I'll give you three options: easy, medium, and something, interesting. I have already written, some code examples with the prompts that I want to give ChatGPT. So let me go to that page. So this is the easy one first. It's a factorial function. I'm first going to give this code, and along with that, I'll also give the prompt. Okay, so I'll just copy paste it here. I'll give the code, factorial code, right? And here I'm giving the prompt. I don't specifically have to write prompt. I'll just write explain this Python function line by line, right? And again, you can give it as many instructions as you want. So I want ChatGPT to tell me how variables change for n equals to 5. I also want ChatGPT to give me a step-by-step trace table, which is, call stack, and then also provide 3 beginner-friendly test cases and some, bugs and all that. So let me just press enter, and it's thinking again, right? Here's the code you gave. Now it is giving you line by line explanation starting from the function. It is a function named factorial. It takes parameter n. If n equals to n less than equals to 1, it checks the base case. If n is less than or equal to, it returns 1 and all that. And then how variables change for n equals to 5. Whenever the function is called and it is not base case, it computes 5 into factorial 4. And then to compute factorial 4, it calls factorial 4, right? The same function is being called, and then it computes this. And then this continues until factorial 1. So factorial 5, factorial 4, factorial 3 to 1. And then 1 hits base case and returns 1. I mean, it's a really good explanation. And then there is trace table also. See, the function invocation, these are the local variables, the action, yeah, right? And then the value returned at that specific step. And it also gives you call stack diagram, which is the visual representation, and some test cases, right? How amazing is that? Now, let me give you a bit medium level code. And again, I've already written these beforehand. And the prompt is again given here. This is actually another simple, code. Not that simple. It's a medium level code for breadth first search on a small graph. This code is also in Python, right? And I'm trying to ask ChatGPT to explain this BFS implementation line by line for the sample graph. I wanted to start right? Show the state of the queue and all of that, the sets it this code visits, and also, the order list and everything. Now let's see. It must show some queues, some visited sets, and match well with visual graph walkthrough. I had already created this graph long back, and I just wanted to, understand certain things, and this is what I came up with. And see, it it is giving you every single explanation, iteration by iteration, right? What happens in each iteration, and then sample diagram also. It shows it in showing reverse traversal order, right? And then it gives you explanation as well. I mean, I'm just giving you some examples. You can try with any other code you want, right? Let me give you now one last code. Um, and again, these I've already, you know, executed. I have already tested these, and that's why I'm showing it here. So for this one specifically, I have, used this uh, function, and I just wanted ChatGPT to help me understand this. I wanted ChatGPT to explain this, to underscore sum solution line by line, why it's, ON, show the dictionary state after each loop iteration for the sample input. And also, I wanted uh, some test cases, right? This specific code I wanted to understand because it shows, the optimization, the hashing, the trade-offs. It is very useful, specifically for interviews. So again, it gives you line by line explanation, right? And then when we talk about, the trade-offs, again in interview, sometimes, they ask you the question, why this is ON. So it gives the perfect explanation. Now, I don't know what your level is. So I've used, three levels, easy, medium, and, something interesting. This question has been asked in interviews also. You can try whenever, you are maybe visiting certain sites to practice interview questions. This is how you can try. This is how you can use ChatGPT for those questions, right? It gives you the exact explanation why this is ON, right? And then it also tells you step by step dictionary state for the sample input. That's what I wanted to understand. And then compact trace table as well. And edge test cases. This is also, something that I wanted. Okay. So this is another way of using ChatGPT to understand, various algorithms, even understand the trade-offs, why certain things are the way they are, all of that. And you can also use AI to create mini projects, using certain algorithms, right? For example, you can just maybe ask, ChatGPT, uh, give me a project idea using BFS or DFS, right? It's going to give you some beginner to intermediate project ideas. See, maze, solver, visualizer, most popular, and then core features, social network, friend finder, all of this, right? And this, again, like first you can ask ChatGPT to give you some ideas, and these are the examples you are getting. And then you can ask ChatGPT to generate, some test data, edge cases, function structure, like we did, earlier. This makes algorithm practical, not just theoretical. Okay. And then you can also combine, videos, code, and visualization. So this is what I usually like to do. I won't be able to show everything here, but usually what I like to do is I ask ChatGPT to explain the algorithm with some analogies, with some examples. Then I will ask it to draw the diagram. Okay, then I will paste the code and, get step by step walkthrough, right? Using, different tools, not just ChatGPT. Again, you can also use Excalidraw, and then you can run visual simulations on, there are different sites. For example, if you know this one, Visual Algo, you can visualize, data structures and algorithms through this site, right? You can run your visual simulations here, and then you can practice with artificial intelligence hints. right? There is another website called Lead Code. You can practice here also, and you will find many sets as well, problem sets. You can explore, different things. And this is actually the best way to, learn any algorithm intuitively, visually, and practically, not just by, cracking, the memorizing the steps, right? Because algorithms don't have to be boring. You don't have to read long PDFs or memorize formulas. With ChatGPT, with AI tools, you can learn them the way humans naturally learn, through examples, through visuals, and simple explanations. So that's what I wanted to show you in this video. Actually, I did not do any coding in this one because I already had done a lot of coding, and I just wanted to show you how I use it in my projects and how you can also use it to understand, different algorithms. Specifically, like if you find it really hard to study, data structures, um, if you find, these algorithms difficult, this is how you can use them. And I tried to, share a few prompts as well. This one actually I really like. Explain something like I'm 10 years old, right? This gives you, the best explanation in the world. Okay. So I hope it helped. Uh, if you learned something, uh, maybe give it a like. If you have any questions, please do let me know in the comments. Usually, I don't get enough time to do the, coding and everything on screen. But whatever like I do in my live projects, and whenever there is a problem that I'm facing and then I find the solution, I usually use these AI tools to find the solution, and then I really feel the need to share it with you also. So if you ever face any problem and you are not able to find the solution and all, just drop it in the comments and I'll try to create another episode on that.